All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Habits You Love. Today we have a special guest on. We are with Christina Flach today. She is a makeup artist and the CEO and founder of Pretty Girl Makeup. Her clientele ranges from A-list celebrities to fashion, media, and businesses such as Tesla, Facebook, and Google. In addition to her career, she is a devoted single mother of four, philanthropist, and actively raises funds and awareness for sepsis. She also uses her platform to promote the importance of feeling beautiful from the inside out. She inspires women to be the best version of themselves and how to overcome life's greatest obstacles. So welcome, Christina.
Hello, my friend. How are you? Thanks for
Hi,
having me
good.
today.
I know. I feel like we're already friends after that 20 minutes of debacle there.
I know we become best friends in 20 minutes after that stressful
Uh,
little.
After the technology failed us and we bonded.
We were about to throw our arms up and give up.
I know, but could I just FaceTime you? We'll just
I was thinking that.
We got it though. So I'm really excited to talk to you. I'm already just even this jumping on with you the first 5 minutes. I can tell you're just super down to earth and it's going to be a good conversation. So I know I just rattled off a lot there and it's obvious that you are successful in your path of being, I like to call makeup artist just in the field of makeup because you are an artist. So, with any success usually comes hardship, trials, ups and downs, then discipline. And on here on Habits You Love, we love to give people the opportunity to share their journey through those hard times and maybe some bad habits you picked up along the way that could have or may have, hindered you from what you were called to do. And so we hone in on that self-awareness it takes to overcome those obstacles and to keep going. So, through researching for this episode, I do see that you've been through some hard times. You've experienced loss, you've had a family member with cancer, but simultaneously, I see a lot of beautiful things that you have created out of those. So I just really want to get a little background on your story and how you became a makeup artist, and then we'll kind of get into where you currently are on your journey and what habits you love.
Okay. Well, I started being a makeup artist as a teenager. I was kind of like every other teenage girl, just messing around with products and on my friends and my family. And my mom had stage 4 brain cancer. And so she was going out with my dad one night. And I said, "Oh, Mom, let me do your makeup for you." I had no idea what I was doing. I had no skills and she had very few products, but we managed to make her look and most importantly, feel like her old self. And so, especially with people that are going through cancer, they feel awful. The chemo, the radiation affects their skin, they lose their hair, they feel awful. So if you can make them feel like the best version of themselves, it really does make a huge difference. So that always stuck with me, that feeling of seeing her face light up with how beautiful she looked. And so that's kind of how it started. And then I would do proms and weddings. And then I started working with the different photographers. And then I miraculously got an agent. And that's when everything changed. I was able to work with different celebrities and different brands and different channels, ABC, NBC, Fox, Food Network. And so it's kind of gone from there.
So were you already living out in California when all that was? Yeah.
Yes.
You're from?
I've always lived in California.
Okay. Have you ever moved away?
I lived in Mexico for 4 years in my early 20s. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yes.
But
So that was fun. Yes.
Yeah. I actually lived in LA for a little bit and I did I'm in the health and fitness industry. And so I did some jobs like fitness modeling. So I might have seen you on set maybe somewhere.
Maybe. I would love to paint your pretty face.
I know. I was going to say I have a newborn. So I'm in like
oh my gosh.
Just
how old's your baby?
No makeup here for a while. He's almost.
You look great.
Thank you.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, almost 5 months. Whenever you were like, "Hey, I have to update my computer," I like ran in the bathroom and was like, "My face is so shiny, I can't be talking."
Oh my God, so is mine, but it's fine.
I know. I was like, I can't be talking to a makeup artist and my face look like this. I had to run
so funny.
And fix it up a little bit, but yeah. So you've just been doing this since you were a teenager, you said.
Pretty much I have. And then I started, and it was a perfect job as a mom because I could still help out in the class and drive on field trips and kind of control my schedule because it was so, as a makeup artist, sometimes you work every day and then sometimes you don't. So you can kind of control what's going on. And it was really important for me to be, a present mother. Really wanted to do that. And I had a lot of kids. My career's evolved as my kids have gotten older. I've been able to do more jobs. I for example, I never would have done a feature film or a TV show before because it's just of the time and the hours. But this past January, my long-term client is Tyler Florence. He's a celebrity chef on the Food Network, and he's in the 17th season of the Great Food Truck Race, and it's airing right now on the Food Network. So we started, I did it a few years ago. We were in LA. We went all over LA and Southern California. And then this time we started in Houston and went all around the Gulf and ended up in Miami. So I was gone for 2 months. And then I was away from that for a week and went to the Super Bowl for a week and worked with my clients at Nickelodeon and Paramount and NFL. So that was fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, like you said, you're gonna evolve as with what you can even do and accomplish.
It's true.
Now, it is one of my goals, like you said, to be a very present mother. I never wanted to hand my child off to daycare or anything. So we're making it work. He's 5 months and we both, me and Tyler, we both balance watching him. So it's working for now.
It'll work. It all works out. And the big thing is just make sure that you get your rest and you work out and you enjoy the time. It's going to go so fast.
That's the number one thing we get. It just goes by so fast. So I think that is something I've picked it back up, but obviously, just working out is my keystone habit, that if I do that, then like the rest of my day goes well. I know. Better. I drink my water. So when I wasn't able to do that, I definitely sort of got into this little fog, just a little like, oh my gosh, I am lazy. All the bad things us women say whenever we have a 2 week.
Oh, when we beat the crap out of ourselves.
Yeah. Whenever we're just not accomplishing 100 things a day. We get down to 98 and we're like, I'm a failure. So, but I'm finally able to pick it back up and I'm feeling good. Yeah.
I think one of the things I've learned is like to be kinder to myself, because beating the hell out of myself is not productive for me. It's just not good. And you kind of have to, you get done as much as you possibly can in a day. And you have to just kind of be like, okay, this is what I got done. And I'm okay with that. Like it was enough for today. Tomorrow's a new day. And then there's some days that are just yuckola and they need to end. Like I will just go, okay, I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to go for a run or I'm going to do something other than what I'm doing because it's just not flowing. And then there's days that it just flows and you get a zillion things done and you feel like you're on top of the world. And yeah, that helps.
Good conversation. Kind of just, I don't know if you're kind of into like masculine, feminine energy, like, because you had just mentioned that maybe you had kind of switched from a go-getting, I'm an entrepreneur, hustling mentality, very in your masculine, to maybe now, did you ever switch to kind of like more go with the flow, more being in your feminine, more just switching from, I don't have to conquer the world every day, to just having grace for yourself?
Yes. I mean, that does help a lot, but I think I think maybe that's with age and time that you just start going, okay, telling myself, one of my best friends, Diana Stobo, she's a CEO and, just an amazing human. But she said, because one day I was chatting with her and you know how you tell your best friend, like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm all these awful things. And she's like, whoa. She's like, you would never speak to another human like this. So why on earth would you say that about yourself? And I thought about it for a minute and I just thought, I didn't even realize that I did it. It was just a bad habit that I broke. And so now I'm just kind of like, look, I'm getting done what I can get done and tomorrow's a new day. And I do have to push myself to get to that place of uncomfortable, get comfortable being uncomfortable. I became also a beauty expert on NBC on California Live. I do that a few times a month and I didn't want to do it. I was terrified, but my friend Berlin had said to me, who was the host, he said, look, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Great things will happen. And so I did. And so it's really brought me a lot of confidence being able to do live TV. I mean, it's helped a lot doing these podcasts, but once you've got cameras and lights and live, it's terrifying. I've been doing that for 2 years now. And so I feel so much more comfortable speaking to people and on TV. So like today, I'm starting a new brand called I'm Too Busy, because clearly I am and you are. I'm going to do a new skincare line that I've already formulated. It's 3 steps. It's a reverse cleansing. I work with this beauty chemist and he was the guy that invented for Urban Decay, that setting spray. He's brilliant. And so he said, so what do you do in the morning? And I'm like, oh, I splash my face with water. And he's like, ding, 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 wrong. And I'm like, why? What am I supposed to do? And he's like, do you drink the water that you put on your face? I'm like, God, no. And he said, exactly. So you need to put up a barrier on your face. So we get a moisturizer and a cleanser on the face and then add the water, and it's protecting. Because think about it, when you go into water, sometimes you put water on your face or you're in the ocean or in a pool, your face feels tight and itchy. Well, that's because there's been no protection. So, and then the third step is protecting it like a vitamin C serum. So we're doing that. I'm going to do a new makeup line called I'm Too Busy. Just what you need. I hear all the time from people, oh my gosh, I went to the store and I bought all this stuff and they sold me all this stuff and I don't know how to really use it. I don't have time. It doesn't really fit my lifestyle. And what do I do with it? So I want people to be able to look like the best versions of themselves, super easy, and just the stuff you need. Concealer, something for your brows, your lashes, shadow, cheek and lip, and that's it. And I realize, we're trying to sell things, but also I don't see how you're going to get brand loyalty if you're selling people things that they don't know how to use and don't use.
Man, I have a lot to say about that. First of all, I would have that entire for sure. And not even because I'm too busy, but I'm honestly too lazy in a sense to do makeup. I'm just bare minimum. I'm like, yep, eyebrows. I think three most important are eyebrows, mascara, and lips. I'm like, okay, that's good.
Totally.
That's
Absolutely.
good. Yeah. So I would have that entire line.
You're blessed because you have beautiful skin and you're young and gorgeous. So that you're very lucky that you're
Thank
able to.
you.
I, on the other hand, need to put everything on and then make it look like I don't have everything on.
It takes a lot to look natural, doesn't it?
And I've had that happen to me. I worked with Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and they send very specific instructions of the fashion is the focal point, not my makeup. So I have to make the model look like she has no makeup on. And that's a skill in itself to like put on makeup on people, but they don't look like they have makeup on at all.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I remember a makeup artist telling me like it takes a lot to just look natural, like almost more than looking not natural.
It's true. It's easier. I mean, you have to really know what you're doing. And it's super important to make sure, like, I think that's the biggest thing that civilians have a hard time with is what foundation do I use? Is it lighter? Is it darker? Why pick? So the big hint is your foundation, when you try it on, have a window hitting your face. So the light's hitting your face and you want it to disappear. You don't want it lighter. You don't want it darker. You just want it to blend into your skin so you don't see it. And that is the right color.
Ooh,
and then, yeah. And then, with the brows, you can use a shadow, you can use a pencil, mascara needs to be wiped out, every 2 to 3 months. It just, they don't last long. They just, the air, I don't know what, but they don't last. So, they're not going to be good for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Good tips. Good tips. Well, we're going to get to some makeup questions, but I kind of want to go back to when you said that you were doing the live show and your friend said you got to get uncomfortable. Got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And yes. I definitely can relate to that. I did a live health and fitness segment early on in my career. It was just supposed to be a one-time thing. She was like, can you come do a New Year's resolution, health and fitness tips? And I did. And then they liked it. And we did it for, I think, a year as well. But yeah,
wow.
Yeah, the live every week live on the air. Super, super nerve-wracking. Totally built my confidence. It gave me that credibility as to what I was doing.
That's true.
Yeah. And I just wanted to kind of ask you, for anyone listening, about they're so scared to get uncomfortable or scared to take a risk. What advice would you give? I think anytime anyone has ever done that and it's worked, you always look back and say, I wish I would have done that sooner. I wish I wouldn't have been so scared. But sometimes people just never even take the risk. So what would be your advice?
My first advice would be dream as big as you can, bigger to the point that you're uncomfortable. Because I could never have envisioned that my life would be what it is. And I thought I dreamed pretty big, but it's become more than I had anticipated. So that would be the first thing. And number two, I don't believe, to me, the only failure is not doing it. And I used to say try, but try gives you wiggle room, not do it. Like, well, I tried. Well, you didn't really. If you really set your mind to something, it will happen. So just deciding you're going to do it. The only failure is not doing it. And just thinking about it and talking about it. It's like, just do it. So to me, there's no failure. There's going to be missteps. There's going to be bumps because there just inevitably are in life, but you have to pivot. So things have been slow right now. I'm waiting for my investor money to come in to do my new work. And I'm, there's photo shoots in the summer, really kind of slow. So I'm starting a new TV show that I'm hosting because I'm too busy. So today I decided, I'm like, okay, that's it. I've been procrastinating to start it because I'm like, my own show that I'm talking, like, this is terrifying. But today right before you and I met, I had a call with my producer in New York. And I'm like, okay, next Wednesday we're doing it. And he's like, okay, like that's it. I'm like, that's it. So we have the background set up. I have a green screen behind me. We've got this really cool background that's like a beautiful living room with white couches and a fireplace. And I'm going to interview one of my really good friends, Samantha. She is a philanthropist. She's started this Sparkle Foundation, and she's a mom, and she has an insurance company. She does all these amazing things. She's going to be my first guest because I'm super comfortable with her. And if I have a few bumps, she will be kind.
Oh, that's a good guess to have first. Get the ones that you're friends with, comfortable with.
Right. And then I also want to interview like different clients I have. I work with a lot of really cool people, and I want to ask them like, what was it like? Just the same kind of things you're asking me. Like, what was the journey like? How do you keep balance in your life? What do you do for fun? Like, are you still getting that high you get from, new goals that you set and different things that happen in life? So I'm going to be doing that as well.
Awesome. I love that. And when I was reading kind of just everything you do, I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh, like she makes me look like I do nothing. The gear, an amazing guest on. Her name is Monica, and she has a podcast she's had for 8 years called About Progress. And I've just kind of just been in this lull for a little bit as far as like just not doing kind of just what you said. I'm just not doing the things that I want to do. I just talk about them, or I think about them, and they don't actually put action into it. And she had a really good thing that she does with people, and it's just called a do something list. And it's basically sitting down and writing down everything that you love to do. And it's not like goals. It's not like, oh, I want to read 30 books this year. I want to accomplish a marathon. It's more so like it was like go dancing on with your girlfriends, or stay in a hotel by yourself, try different neighborhood walks, something like that. Anyways, I really loved it because it really just was about like getting yourself back into that action piece that is the journey. That is the whole thing.
Sometimes it's just the first step. Sometimes
Yeah.
it is just like, especially you just had a baby. And I don't know about you if you had any postpartum. I used to call it partum. I had partum like with my twins because it was twins. So I had three and then I had twins. And it was awful. It was like the worst partum I ever had. And, sometimes that's hard. So it just takes sometimes to, you've just had this complete life change. I mean, be a little kind on yourself, sister. You've had a baby, you've got your podcast, I'm sure you have a million other things you're doing. So you need to be a little gentler on you too.
No, I know. I do.
You do need to keep pushing yourself to greatness. I think when you're people like A types like us that do things, it's that high of doing it and this uncomfortable feeling, and then it turns out okay. So I know now when I get that, ooh, I'm scared, I don't want to do this, and it works out, it's such a great feeling.
Actually a good thing. It's a good thing to be scared.
It is a good thing because it's pushing you to things that you weren't typically going to do. But other than that, you're just going to be stagnant. And I don't like being stagnant.
Right. Yeah. I lost my train of thought. Speaking of having a newborn.
Mommy and mommy brain. Yes, I remember that well.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm just very like multi-passionate. So sometimes I have a really hard time being like, well, what do I actually want to focus on? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? They feel all so different. And so I'm just very multi-passionate as with so many different things. So sometimes I just get, if I can't do it all, I just do nothing. And I think that's really dangerous territory to get in as well. I think a lot.
Yeah, well, that starts getting into a bad habit.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is one thing that I learned. Like one thing will lead to the next. So for example, today I had this meeting with my producer in New York, and I just said, okay, I set the date for next Wednesday. And because I've set the date, like it's official, I can't back out of it. And I need that because it's so easy to go, oh, I had a photo shoot. Oh, I have a client, or I just have to do it. And this has to become part of my new normal of doing this show every week.
So is that what you would tell people if someone were to come to you and say, how do I just take that next step? How do I really want to do this, but I haven't done anything towards it? What you would just say, just decide and then set something down.
Just decide. Yeah. Do one thing. It will lead to the next thing. So for example, me just deciding the date next Wednesday, invited my friend Samantha on the show. She and we share an assistant. So that helps a lot. Having my assistant work on like all the show information that I send to the producer. So now it's just flowing and now it's done. The worst part is over.
Right.
And then I'm going to start asking all my other celebrity like friend / clients to be on the show.
So you're
too
doing
often.
it in California, but it's from New York.
It's 4 o'clock. Yes, it's 7 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock New York. What the heck time is it?
Oh yeah, I always
Yeah,
get,
it's 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So
yeah.
it's 7 New York time. Yeah.
So where's it going to be on?
It's going to be on all the different platforms except Netflix. We haven't sold it to them yet.
Oh, well, they
We'll
need
work
to be
on that.
on it.
I hope so.
They
Yeah,
need to be
it's
on.
on big bold TV, so we will see where it goes.
Uh,
It'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, that's one of the fun things about my job is that I get time with people, which is my favorite gift of all. Like if you ever want to give me a present, give me some time. I think, I get to speak with Condoleezza Rice. I get her all to myself, or Rita Moreno, Tyler Florence or Bobby Flay, all these amazing people, Sammy Hagar. I am so blessed with all these great people that I get to spend the day with when we work together. So I'm going to beg and plead and ask them very nice to be on my show.
so that is your love language, time.
Time is just time and touch.
Yeah. So working with all these people, I mean, I know you have men and women too, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
more so focusing on women, like, since we're going to talk about kind of some empowerment and confidence. What do you think women struggle with the most? If you're sitting down in the chair with them, what's the kind of the reoccurring topic that comes up?
Oh, their skin, aging. Sometimes it's hard for people to age. I think people that are confident and have, so for example, I worked with this teenager a couple years ago. Her name's Ivy, and I adore her. And she came to me. She didn't know anything about makeup, and her mom got her a makeup lesson. And so I taught her about foundation and just putting makeup that's like appropriate for a teenager. And so we got along great. And I was telling her, I'm like, so what do you like want to be when you get older? Like, what's your goals? What's your dreams? I'm like, just dream away, girl. And so 2 weeks later, she called me and said, hey, can I share something with you? Felt so good about myself. After our makeup lesson, I applied for a study abroad program for the summer, and I got accepted to go to Prague to study photography. And she's like, I would never have done it in a million years if you hadn't said to me, dream big and do it. And I just thought, wow, first of all, someone listened to me. That was shocking. But it made me feel so good because she said it changed her life of being in Europe and, that experience. And so I just thought, wow. I just know for myself when I'm, here in my office and I don't have any makeup on, we're all visual. People are visual. So I feel like everyone should give their best, whether it be, your exercise, you're prepared for a meeting. Why wouldn't you want to look like the best version of you if, especially for me, I have to go in front of a camera on TV or with clients. If I look like a disheveled mess, why would anyone listen to me? So it's super important that it just makes me feel better about speaking about makeup and wellness and beauty when I'm not like sitting looking in the Zoom going, oh God, look at these wrinkles. I look tired. I'm hungry. Whatever it is I think about myself. So if you can, with a little bit of concealer and mascara and lip gloss, feel better about yourself, why on earth wouldn't you?
Yeah. So it sounds like that confidence piece, and just like that front facing, like, and like you said, you got to practice what you preach. You got to, same with me. I cannot preach to someone how to eat, how to work out. Why you're not doing this? You're lazy. You need to get into a routine if I'm not doing it.
Discipline is hard. Yeah. And discipline, it's important because my Tyler Florence, my client, that's the celebrity chef, he always has these great sayings, but he said, if people realize how hard it was to be exceptional, no one would do a goddamn thing. Right. It takes effort and time and planning to do exceptional things, to, be the best version of you out in the world and push yourself. I'm very grateful. Like I say, when my agents call, I always say yes. And I send them a note after and thank them. Thank you for the job. I'll thank the producers or whoever I've worked with because I am grateful. There's a million makeup artists in the world that they can work with. And if I'm chosen, like that's special. And if they continue to use me, it's really a nice thing.
I think that has definitely is a testament to just like your energy and personality. I think I heard Gigi Hadid once say, like, I really don't think I would be working for all these companies or they would still be having me as their model, but I think I'm just really fun to work with. I think she said that somewhere. And I feel the same too.
She's right.
Yeah, I'll get these
She's
jobs
right.
and I'm like, immediately I can just like connect with people and like just make it fun. So I think that goes to
Right.
your good energy. Like you said, you kind of just sat down with that girl and you gave her the little push that she needed to feel confident about herself physically and then also emotionally and take it. And so that's what you do. That's your calling, girl. You get in front of people so you can be that for them. It's not solely about the makeup all the time.
Yes, it's true. So I think it's a nice thing. I love people. I like meeting new people. I like working with new people. I love to travel. And so that's part of the fun of my job. And, and I agree with you. I get hired. Well, obviously, I have good makeup skills and a lot of experience, but I'm also on time. I'm pleasant. I'm not a pain in the ass. I don't complain. And I will do whatever needs to be done. If the lighting guy needs help, I'll hold the light or, whatever. Nothing is beneath me. I don't think I'm too good for that. I don't do that. I'm part of the team. We all have to do whatever we have to do.
Good attitude. I love that. Quickly, let's talk about your show. It's going to be called I'm Too Busy, which is also going to be your makeup line. So what is going to be the premise of I'm Too Busy? What do you want people to get out of the show?
I want people to get out of the show. I want people to get inspired. I want people to go out after hearing someone speak about all the things that they've done to get comfortable being uncomfortable and to, set goals, dream big and make life fun, make people feel good. I mean, I think a lot of things also is and I'm sure you're the same. I know how to connect people and they get a good vibe from me. They feel like I'm kind, I'm positive, like, they enjoyed me. And so I think I want people to do that. I want people to go out in the world and, we all get lemons in life. There's bumps in the road, there's lemons, and it's how you decide to handle these bumps in the road and these sour lemons. My son passed away. My son Bo passed away. My husband passed away. So I started 2 educational funds at the Northern Light School in Oakland, California. It's a private school for underprivileged children. So I didn't want either of them to be forgotten. I wanted their memory to be out there all the time. I helped raise money for kids to go to private school. My children have all helped at the school. My husband, when he was alive, played in a golf tournament to raise money for the school. So my youngest, who's going to be 18 next month, and he's huge now, he's 6'3", he raised $75,000 last October for the fund. And so he's, this is a 17-year-old teenage boy. He's a golfer and he goes every year and plays in this golf tournament. And he's raised over $200,000. And so it is remarkable to me. This child of mine has the poise and the grace to, he's lost his dad and his brother, his twin, and how he is so generous with his time and helping others. And so I love that. So I think I would like people to see, I don't like when people, with grieving, people will just be like, oh, well, my husband died or my wife died. I'm just going to be miserable for the rest of my life. And so I was on a hike and I could hear my husband telling me, it makes me so sad to see you upset. I can't comfort you like when I was alive. I hate seeing you upset. So then I thought about it from that perspective, like, wow, how would I feel looking down on my kids or my husband or my friends? And they're so distraught over my not being there anymore that they're not living life to the fullest and they're not happy and they're not loving. And so I just think it's super important to, whatever, you have to be grateful for what you have, not for what you don't have. And so it's super important, I think, figure out what you love doing and then figure out how to get paid doing it.
Oh yeah, percent. I mean, going back to like I said, you took something horrible and made the beauty from ashes, basically. And I think, yeah, that is a testament to people when they can go through something, but actually use it. And so many things come to mind. But one of the things that comes to my mind when I feel like I'm going through hard times, I'm like, I'm never being punished. That's always something I always tell myself. Like, I'm never being punished.
It's not happening to you. It's sometimes happening for you. Exactly. You heard that one?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a little bit of hindsight of like, okay, that's why that happened. And I love when those moments like just
yes,
right in front of you, like this is why that happened. It doesn't matter how long ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I also lost my mom 8 years ago. And I would say that most of what I do now currently was actually that experience. She actually had some mental health issues and she did take her own life. And so now my purpose is kind of like, I don't want to say not to be like her, but never to get to that point that she was. So that definitely changed the trajectory of my life. Is like, okay, I saw exactly what was going on with her. And it's like, my mission is take care of myself mentally, emotionally, physically. So I never even get to that that point. I mean, going through that changed my life. Obviously, it's a tragic situation, but I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have this podcast. I wouldn't be talking to you.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
I mean, so just so first of all, just always remember like you're never being punished in life. And then also make beauty from ashes.
Beauty from ashes. I
Yeah.
think, it's all the attitude we have, and you have to, my daughter had said to me, you have to be grateful for the time you had, not for what you don't have. And I believe that. So that's why when I tell you that time is so precious to me, it is precious because you don't know how long you get. And so I think you have to be very grateful for your time. And I think it's great that you've changed, how you decided to be a mother, not let things get to that point. She might not have been able to stop the train. You're probably feel frustrated or hurt that like how, because you could never in your mind, now that you have a child, you're like, there's no way in hell I could ever leave this child.
Mhm.
So how much pain did she have to be in that she could do that? Like
Right.
she had no more control over her life or her anything.
I can't control that situation, but I can control me going
Mm-hmm.
forward. That's all I can control. Kind of going back to you were talking about your show and everything, and the thought came to mind of recently we had an episode where it was about setting goals and how a goal that you're working towards actually creates positive emotion. And I think even just hearing you talk about, I set my thing next Wednesday, the ball's rolling, everything's going on. That is what happens when you actually do set a goal. And I think that is one thing that people are missing. They're just loosey goosey. They're just I want to do this. I might get to this. And they just don't have a definite goal. I know in my mind, when I set something, it like my brain will automatically switch and just be like, all right, we're in game time mode. So I think
Uh-huh.
that's one of the things that is really important that I try to strive to tell people is like set a goal, set something that you have to work towards because that creates positive emotion, positive momentum. And it's a vicious cycle because they'll be like, oh, I don't have any positive emotion. So I can't create a goal or do anything towards the
Oh
goal.
my God, I can't is like, do not ever tell me I can't. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. Those are all just excuses for
Hmm.
not doing something. So you can do whatever it is you want to do. You just decide and do it. And it doesn't need to be, I think what happens with people, they get overwhelmed and don't know where to start. So that's why I said, pick one thing. It'll lead to the next and the next and the next. So for example, me picking my date for my show today. Okay. Now I feel enthused and I'm excited. And now there's no turning back. And just keep going and don't worry about the outcome. Enjoy the process. I, started this makeup line. I'm self-funded. And, it took way longer than I ever anticipated, but I enjoyed the whole process. I enjoyed meeting with my chemist and seeing what they would send me and the different textures and the colors and everything. And so if you go into a new career or new endeavor, go into it for the right reasons. And so when I say that, I mean, go into it because you love it so much that you're not going to mind doing it 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. And so, because if you're going into it, just to make money and you're not loving it, you will fail because you're going to resent it. You're not going to enjoy it. And you're going to like, go, I want to do anything but do what I'm doing.
Yep. I saw this thing today, I think, and it was like the biggest waste of time is when you're thinking about something that you should be doing as opposed to doing what you're doing. And I'm like, I'm sitting here doing this, but I really should be doing this. So you're taken away from that moment, thinking about that moment. And it's just, I'm
You're not living in any moment. You're just like,
done.
yeah, just wasting time. I don't know. Some days you just, like I said earlier, sometimes the flow's there and you're just moving along and getting stuff
Yeah.
done and it feels so good. And then there's other days you're like, okay, I got to just walk out of this office and go do something else because
Yeah.
it's not working.
So it seems like your career has just, I'm sure there's, like I said, ups and downs. It's always a trending upward graph when it comes to success. But what are some of the tools and mindsets that you've had that have helped you become and stay successful in your life and your career?
I think I'm relentless. I don't give up. I enjoy what I do. And so I will do things. For example, I did a magazine the other day, a photo shoot for a magazine, and magazines pay nothing. I mean, very minimally, so little, but you don't care because everything is about the tear sheets for your portfolio, right? So I will do projects when it's not about the money. It's about working with this photographer came out from New York and these people were really cool. And it was up in Calistoga on this Wagyu farm. And there were it was just a really cool setting with really great people. And it was fun. But I also am going to get some amazing images. So it's not always about the money. Sometimes it is about the money. Sometimes I'm doing a job and I don't really want to do it. And I get paid a lot. And I'm like, okay, I like that part of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to wake up at midnight. I have a client, she's on Fox, Maria Bartolomo, and we were in Beverly Hills, and she has a show on at 3 a.m. Pacific time because it's 6 a.m. in New York. I got up, I started doing her makeup at midnight
Oh my
and
God.
her hair to get her ready so we could get on set. So that was really a hard day, but I got paid an amazing amount. I did, and I love her, so it didn't matter. It was a great day. I mean, it just kind of messes with your brain when you're so tired, like, and that's the other thing with this job. You have to like uncertainty. I don't know when I'm going to work. You don't know when you're getting paid or when you're going to work or what you're going to do. And so that's why it's great that I have my company, or I do podcasts, or I had 2 magazine articles come out this week that I wrote. And I just try to keep, if one thing's not working, I try and do something else and just kind of keep things flowing. My agents will tell me, like, when things are slow, he'll go, just book a flight. Where? He goes, it doesn't matter. Just book a flight. You always get a new job as soon as you book a flight. I'm like, okay, doesn't then cancel it. And always that happens. So, I'll do that.
Yeah. I mean, we're all about good vibes and good karma over here, because even just the other day, I had someone reach out to me about helping her with, coaching her and all that. And she's like, can you send me your rate? So I did. And then she was like, okay, I'm sorry, I can't afford it. And I was like, you know what? I was like, don't worry about it. Like, we're kind of acquaintances. She's actually given me some jobs and other things. And so I'm like, just don't worry about it. Just do it because I want to help you. You clearly want the help. I don't like when people pay me and they don't want to actually do the work, basically. So like, I can tell you're motivated. So yeah, we just do it for the good karma.
And that always leads. And you know what? I always feel like you're going to get an amazing recommendation from her. She's going to tell a couple of friends, and it always evens itself. The money thing always works itself out.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Even I think that's a whole another podcast, but definitely learned a lot about just energy around money, and how the more you constrict and hold on to it and you just don't release it, the more you're not going to get it back, basically. I like to donate, I like to tithe. And so sometimes I'm like, I really don't have the money for this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then something always comes back.
It always does. And I will ask the universe and my angels, hey, come on, please. I need another job. I need these investors to come in. I will just ask the universe what I need. And they always, thank you. They always deliver.
Yeah, you ask, but then you have to stay in the good energy to receive it.
Absolutely.
All, just constricted is really the word that I think of, where you're just like, you got to just surrender, let it go, and enjoy your life.
It all works itself out. But I think that takes time and wisdom, and it takes some time to know that, like, sometimes I'm like freaking out just like everyone else is, like, oh my God, how am I going to pay for that? How am I going to do this? And then I just said, okay, enough. Stop thinking about that. Focus on, I really truly believe, focus on what you want to have happen, not what you want not to have happen. Because you will get what the universe will help you either way. And if you're focused on all this negativity of, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, well, the universe thinks that's what you want to have happen. Exactly. So be very clear and specific with your words, and don't, sit and you're basically praying for bad things to happen. Well, that's what is going to happen, because that's all you're focused on.
Cannot worry about it. You cannot. I know it's hard, but you got to do that mindset shift. All right. Last question. We'll wrap it up, and then I'll ask you kind of where everyone can find you and what you have currently going on. But we do on Habits You Love kind of a megaphone moment, where it's, what is one thing you know for sure? So if you were standing on top of a mountain and you had a megaphone to the world and everyone was like, I'm going to implement what Christina just said, what would that be?
Love your life. Really love big and laugh, and do what makes you happy. Don't do things because you feel obligated or you have to. Do it because you want to. Set a, dream as big as you possibly can. See what happens. And, there's going to be bumps. And I know I've said this a few times. There's going to be bumps. You have to learn to pivot. I mean, I've learned to pivot like I'm a flippin' ballerina. I'm constantly pivoting, It's like, oh, that's not working. Okay, well, let's go over here.
Yeah.
So just know that sometimes it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And you just need to make a right instead of a left.
Yeah.
And I think if you can live your life like that, really just be grateful. Gratitude's a big deal. Being really grateful for every moment. I think laughing and loving big is just, That's my big advice to everybody.
Love it. Okay, so you have I'm Too Busy makeup line coming out. I'm Too Busy
Yes.
show coming out. Excited for those. What else do we have going on?
I'm going to be doing more on NBC on California Live with Berlin Fisher. We're doing some beauty and wellness episodes. So we're excited about that. And what else? I'm open to whatever the universe is bringing me right
I
now.
love that. I love it. So, how can people watch that episode? Or
Well, you can go to ChristinaFlach.com and you can scroll down and you'll see some episodes of California Live. And then we're going to be having the episodes of I'm Too Busy. So
oh,
I'm looking forward to that
I'm
too.
excited to watch that. That's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you so
that.
much.
I love it. Well, thank you so much.
I wish you the best with your new baby.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, honestly, he's the
Can
best.
you believe how big, like the second you saw him, you were like, okay, I'm so in love with you. I can't even see straight.
Well, okay, I actually have some words about that.
Okay, tell me.
Everyone will do their whole post like, I never knew love like this existed. Like, well, you know what I mean? Our hearts just got so much bigger. And 100% I am like that right now. But I will say it took me time to get there. It took me a little bit of time to just let it all soak in, kind of getting like, okay, this is actually happening. This is my reality. So, yes, I do feel like that. But it was not like an immediate switch for me, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, I mean, that happens too. I mean, I think that's a little postpartum right there when it's so like you're kind of, it's a little hard because you're tired, your hormones, it's so many things and it's not easy. Being a good mom is really hard. It's
yeah.
easy to be a shitty mom. You don't do anything. You just
Yeah.
let the kids run feral. You just let them run wild. Good mom is just consistency. You know, my kids have said to me, you know, your lectures on drugs and alcohol were lame. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're amazing. And they're like, no, the way you conduct your life, your work ethic, how you treat people, you're kind, you're generous, you're positive. You've had these obstacles, but yet always gracious. It's really
Well,
important. Your kids see everything you do.
right.
So just
Right.
remember that.
Yeah, they're learning by watching you do what you do.
There's, yeah, monkey see, monkey do. I heard
Yeah.
that today. Who said that? It's very true.
It's perfect for this. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to be the best example. Even when he's 4 months old, I'm like, he might not be taking this in, but he might be. So I have to.
Oh, exactly. You can't
Yeah.
risk it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to follow along with everything you're doing, and I appreciate
Thank you.
you. And you're amazing.
Thank you for having me. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
love
And
your
you're going to
positive
be,
energy.
you're an amazing mom. I
Thank
know you.
you. They're in the other room right now. The daddy is feeding them, and they're good.
Well, go love on them.
Yes. All right. Thank you
All right, my friend.
so much. I'll
Thank
leave
you. See you soon.
Christina in the show notes, and you guys will learn to love her as well.
Thank you.
Hey, bye bye.